What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to Unstoppable, the Elite Mind and Body podcast for men. I'm your host, Taj Howell. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 83 in the series right now, and we're titling it The Voice in Your Head, okay? The voice in your head. Now, the reason why we're talking about this is because that little voice in your head, your self-talk, the language that you speak to yourself, programs and conditions you to live your life in a certain way, right? Because your inner voice is literally the architect of your reality, right? If you think about it this way, if you have a lens at which you look at life through, if you're constantly changing that lens for the better with your own self-talk, you're going to look at life through this positive lens, full of abundance, full of gratitude, full of happiness. But if you're shifting your lens negatively with your own self-talk, you're going to look at life through a negative, pessimistic, scarcity-fueled lens. It's extremely important that we watch and throttle and shift our inner voice as necessary to make sure that we are the architects of a good reality, okay? Now, your inner voice is going to either empower you or erode you, right? And I want you to understand that most guys have been unconsciously repeating self-defeating scripts for decades, right? I want you to ask yourself if any of these things sound like things that you've ever said to yourself, okay? Things like, I always mess this up, right? Or things like looking at social media, seeing someone in the fitness space and be like, oh, I'll never look like that, right? Or for example, this is one that I was going through, and the thing that I used to say all the time when my business took a downturn a number of years ago, I would tell myself in my head on repeat, everything that I touch turns to shit. I remember looking myself in the mirror and saying that to my fucking self back a few years ago when I was having a big problem in my business. Another thing is, this is just who I am, right? Like, it's just who I am. You know, why don't you, let's say your spouse or your partner is looking at you and asking you like, why don't you work out? You know, why don't you like go to the gym and get fit? Oh, this is just who I am. Or it's like, you know, why don't you ever try to do something like you always talk about building this big business, or you always talk about taking us on more travel or something like that. Oh, that's just who I am. You know what I mean? Like, these things slowly erode at your own identity, right? They erode at your own belief in yourself. These self-doubts, these negative mindsets, they're going to start shifting that lens and make you see life in a completely skewed way. Okay, I'll give you another one that I love to hear, which I hear all the fucking time, literally all the motherfucking time, okay? I'm not a morning person. This is the biggest, dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard in my entire life. You're not a morning person because you don't choose to wake up in the morning early. Not because you are a night owl or anything. Literally the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Or, I can't do this. You know, it's just not for me. That life just isn't meant for me. Maybe you see someone, maybe you're in an industry, right, where you're working for someone else. Maybe even if you're at a high level working for someone else. Maybe you're a really good real estate agent, right? Or maybe you're in the corporate ladder, you're a manager position or C-suite executive, whatever the case is. And you've always looked at owners of the company, and you've always thought in the back of your mind, what if I could do that? But then you have that voice in your head that says, that life just isn't meant for me. Your inner voice is the architect of your reality. Your inner voice is what creates your perspective. It's what creates your fucking lens. It's what you see the world through. And if you continue allowing your inner voice to dictate your actions, you're going to continue to let your inner voice dictate your results. Okay? Now, your inner voice, you got to understand, is conditioning you daily, right? You're literally, the man that you become is literally being shaped right now by the words you speak to yourself and the thoughts that you think to yourself when no one else is looking. Maybe in person, around your friends, around your, spouse or partner, around your kids, around your coworkers, you talk a big game. You're super confident, you're super outgoing. Maybe you talk about yourself at a very high regard. But if behind the scenes you talk to yourself like shit, you don't actually treat yourself the way that you treat yourself, or you portray to the world that you treat yourself, you're gonna have a huge problem. So what I want to do is help you guys break down how to shift this pattern. Okay. And it comes down to identifying. The very first thing you're gonna do is identify the weak language that you're saying to yourself, right? Like, what phrases do you say in your head when things get hard? Like for me, when things got hard in my business, and this is a number of years ago now, right? I don't say this shit to myself anymore, but I used to tell myself and think to myself, everything I touch turns to shit. What do you think that does to your self-belief? What do you think that did to my self-belief? Because this is a real fucking story. What do you think that did to my own self-belief when I was thinking that and saying that to myself daily, multiple times a day? It eroded my self-confidence. It made me not believe in myself. It made me not believe in my mission. It made me not believe it was even possible to become as big as I am now or bigger. It made me feel truly powerless in my situation. Not because of my actual situation, dude. I was torturing my fucking self by what I was saying to myself. I hope this makes sense, okay? How do you talk to yourself when you fail? Let's say you fail at something. Let's say you set a target and you don't reach it. How do you talk to yourself? You say, no, you're a fucking loser. You're a piece of shit. Like, you don't fucking deserve success, right? Like, are those the things that you say to yourself? Because I've also been there. I know what it's like to treat yourself like that. Or do you say, you know what, bro, next time, we got this. What can we do? How can we reflect? How can we grow? How can we take things up a notch? How can we perform better? How do you talk to yourself when you fail, right? What do you say when someone compliments you? No, that's another thing. Some people take compliments like fucking G's, right? Some people take compliments like a champ. But then other people take compliments and they just, oh, yo, no way. Come on. Right? You've got to be the type of person who can take a compliment and actually allow that compliment to engulf your inner senses and make you feel better as a person. That stems being able to take a compliment properly, that stems from self-esteem. Right? And your self-esteem comes from the way you talk to your fucking self. And the way that you talk to the reason why is because the way that you talk to yourself dictates your actions. Your actions dictate your efforts. Your efforts dictate your results. And a person that has a lot of results in life in the areas that he values has better self-esteem. That's why. So your self-talk curates everything in your entire life. It's extremely important you guys understand this. Now, the language that I want you to start identifying, paying attention to, and eliminating over time, and this is going to take fucking practice. It's not going to happen overnight. For me, it took fucking years, dude. I used to talk to myself like shit. But now I don't, and life is great. But when I did, what I had to do is I had to systematically break down the thoughts that I was thinking and the things that I was saying to myself on a daily basis. And I had to identify them first, create a pattern interrupt in my own brain, and replace the verbiage with new verbiage. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in this episode right now. So some common weak language that you need to eliminate would be, I'll try. When clients tell me I'll try, that they'll try with something, I literally just want to reach through the screen and fucking slap them in the face. I'm not even joking. And I mean that positively. Okay? I don't mean that to be a dick. I just mean that, like, if you're going to try to do some shit, you might as well just not even fucking do it. It's either do it or don't do it, the end. Like, don't tell me you're going to try to do something. Okay? The reason why is because your words, like I just said, your words and your thoughts dictate your actions dictate your efforts, and your efforts dictate your own self-belief and self-esteem. So when you say you're going to try to get in shape, I'm going to try to get in shape this year. You're not going to get in fucking shape this year, bro. It's not going to happen. because you're not rendering with your words. You're not telling the universe. You're not telling yourself. You're not telling your fucking body that this is a non-negotiable. You need to stop saying you're going to try doing shit. Replace it with I will. That's number one. Number two, for the negative self-talk, right? For the negative self-talk that comes up, all the shit that I was telling you about before, right? Let me just go up my notes here. I always mess this up, or I'll never look like that, or everything I turns to shit, or this is just who I am, or I'm not a morning person, I can't do this, the life isn't meant for me, whatever the fuck it is, right? You need to, the way that you identify it, pattern interrupt it, and shift it is by doing one primary thing. Anytime one of your thoughts comes into your brain, that's like, I'm a piece of shit, or I'm such a fucking loser, I'm so lazy, like I can't do this, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Anytime those things come up, you need to change the sentence that you think to a you are statement. So instead of saying, I am a piece of shit, or I am lazy, or I can't do this, change it to a you statement. And the reason why we change it to a you statement is because then what you're telling yourself is you catch that thought, you change it to you're a piece of shit. Oh, then you're like, no, I'm fucking not. What you do is when you change it to a you are statement, it makes you realize that your thoughts aren't you. It makes you realize that your thoughts are just your thoughts. They aren't you, right? We have to separate the idea that you and your thoughts are the same. That's incorrect. You are you. Your thoughts are going to do whatever the fuck they want, right? Like they can't have a say on how we live our lives. They can't have a say on how we operate. So when you change those I am statements to you are statements, what happens is, oh, you're a piece of shit, you're a fucking loser, you can't do this, like that's not meant for you. You're just gonna realize that it just sounds like a hater. Like you're literally gonna, like when you start changing this, you're gonna notice, you're gonna be like, this, like it just sounds ridiculous. The things that you think about yourself with I am statements are only powerful because they are I am statements. If some random dude on the street came up to you and said, you're a piece of shit, you're a loser, that life's not meant for you, you'd probably punch him in the fucking face, bro. You wouldn't let anyone talk to you like that, let alone your kids. Imagine someone said all the things that you say to yourself to your son or your daughter or your fucking wife or your husband. What would you do? Would you let that person, that random dude on the street, talk to your people like that? Fuck no, you wouldn't. So why do you let yourself talk to yourself like that? You have to separate your thoughts from yourself. When you do that, you're going to be able to identify them. You're going to be able to see that it's just bullshit. And then what you do is you complete the sentence. So what we've just done, we're going to take one statement. I'm going to give you a full example, right? I'll use, you're a lazy loser, right? Like if you sleep in one day by accident, okay? Because that's happened to me before. I'm sure that's pretty relatable to you guys, right? Oh, you're a fucking loser. You're so lazy. Or say the thought is, I'm a loser. I'm so lazy. No, you're a loser. You're so lazy. No, I'm not. I'm not a fucking loser. I made a mistake today that I'm not going to repeat. I'm going to download a different type of alarm app to make sure that I have to go walk 50 fucking steps so I don't sleep through it, right? It changes the scope. It changes you from programming your identity poorly to actively communicating with your thoughts on creating a solution. That's how we do it, okay? Now, repetition creates your reality, right? So the things that you consciously replicate and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat to yourself creates your reality, and it creates your vibration level, and that vibration level creates your vibrational frequency, and that vibrational frequency attracts things to you, okay? So how this works is, if you're repeating to yourself on a daily basis, I'm a loser, I'm lazy, I always sleep in, I can't do this, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm too young. I'm too old. Whatever self-doubt, limiting beliefs. Your vibration is going to be on a level that attracts more of that shit to you because your reality is directly dictated by the things that you think and say to yourself. However, and this is going to sound funny, and my girlfriend thinks I'm fucking crazy, bro. I know that for a fact. But I literally daily, probably multiple times a day, I'm like, I'm the fucking man. I'm the best. I'm a fucking king. I'm rich. I'm sexy. I'm a bad motherfucker. I say this stuff out loud. Like, I seem like an arrogant prick, probably, to a random person. But I don't say it because I am a cocky, arrogant prick. I say it because your repetition creates your reality. So if I'm always uplifting myself constantly, every day, right? I'm going to raise my vibration and attract more people into my business that feel the same way, which is why I have 150 clients who are all badass business owners, high-level career-driven men, tradesmen, real estate professionals, guys that are focused in their careers over age 35 that identify with the way that I speak. I can attract those types of people because of how I speak. That's the reality that I've created for myself. And that's the same thing that you need to do with your life. And you can transition that into your own business. You can transition that into your own relationship building or your own leadership with your team, or translate that into the way that your spouse looks at you, the way that your fucking kids look at you, dude. You got to talk about yourself at a very high level. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you some homework. And this homework is for the brothers in my brotherhood, by the way, okay? If you guys didn't know, real quick, we're live again on social media right now, on Instagram, which is great. There's a lot of you guys live here with us, which is really cool to see. If you guys that are on the social media, sorry, I'm just scrolling through this, why it's taking me so fucking long to get through this. But if you guys want me to, I actually just filmed a 15-minute training that breaks down my entire training, nutrition, and mindset strategy that I use for career-driven men over 35. If you want that training, like I said, it's free. If you want that training, if you want me to send that training over to you, all you need to do is comment the word win on this post, and I'll send you the full training. It details a training strategy, nutrition strategy, and the mindset strategy that I use with every single one of my clients over 35 that's a career-driven man that's looking to take it to the next level. I leave nothing out. Like, I give you everything for free. So just comment the word win. I'll send it over to you. But the homework for my students, for the men in my brotherhood, is two things. Number one, you're going to create 3 power statements, okay? You're going to write out 3 power statements, and those power statements, you're going to write them out. Step 2, you're going to record yourself saying them, okay? You're going to record yourself saying these power statements on an audio message, and for the next week straight, you're going to play the audio recording in the morning, first thing when you wake up, or anytime you feel demotivated, or anytime you know you need to do something but you're feeling a little bit like you want to eat some fucking cookies and Twinkies and shit when you're not supposed to, or when you know you're supposed to be working but you're sitting down on your phone scrolling social media. Someone just messaged me and asked if this is a real live. Yes, this is a real live stream. What up? It's November 12th, 11:12 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time. Let's fucking go, okay? You guys are going to do 3 power statements. You're going to write them down, and then you're going to record. You're going to record them and listen to them all week, anytime your mindset lulls or first thing in the morning, okay? Hope it makes sense. The other thing is, I'll give you a quick example of the power statements, and then I got to go to the gym, okay? So 3 examples. Number 1, I am a man who does what he says he will fucking do. The end. That's a power statement. Another one, I earn respect through my actions, my discipline, and my effort. That's another example of a power statement. I move with purpose even when it's hard. That's another example of a power statement. Write down those 3 power statements, record them in your memos app, and listen to it on a daily basis. for the next week. That's your homework for the men in my brotherhood. For those of you guys who commented win already on this post, I'm going to be sending you guys your free training. I'll give one last chance to anyone else who jumped in the free live stream right now. If you want me to send you my new training that I just filmed, it's 15 minutes long. It breaks down the exact training plan, nutrition plan, and mindset strategy that I use for career-driven men over 35 to lock in and become the best version of them fucking selves and to get results faster than ever without having to meal prep, without having to track macros, without having to train 2 hours a day, without having to do all this bullshit. Comment the word win on this live stream right now, and I'm going to send you that training 100% free. Okay? Also, there's one hater in here, Sadie Sahans, whatever the fuck that means. He's asking me if I'm juicing. I take testosterone replacement. I talk about it very openly. I take testosterone replacement as well as HCG, okay? And that HCG helps keep my natural testosterone levels in production while I'm taking testosterone replacement. I only take about 125 milligrams of testosterone replacement per week, okay? So, yeah, no trend here, no bullshit. All right, guys, have an amazing day. Let's lock in. All right, he said he's not a hater. That's good, bro. I like that. Don't hate. Keep following. I saw you commented win too. So I'll send you the shit. You guys have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks so much for tuning in. We have another question. How to keep testosterone up? Keeping testosterone up just comes down to eating enough protein. So here's the deal. Testosterone, everyone has high testosterone when they're younger. The only way you lose testosterone that I've found is when you let yourself get out of shape. Like when you let yourself get 20, 25, 30, 35, 40% body fat, when you let yourself get out of shape, what happens then is that's when your testosterone is like, peace, bro. When you don't use it, you lose it pretty much. Okay. So to keep your testosterone up, the way that you do that is to stay in shape your whole life. But if you've gotten out of shape, right? If you've gotten out of shape, then you need to get back in shape first and see if it comes back on its own. If it doesn't come back on its own, then you need to look into peptides or HCG or enclomiphene citrate. Those things first, I would say, and then testosterone replacement if nothing else works. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll make another video about peptides here pretty soon. Sadie, appreciate you. The rest of you guys, rock and roll. Peace, love, and protein. Stay jacked, stay sexy, and let's fucking kill it. We'll see you guys soon.